Welcome back to the ICF series on the 2025 updates to the Code of Ethics. I'm really excited to be working on Section 2 today, which is about confidentiality and legal compliance. And I've got Angela Gaehtgens today coming from Portugal, just outside Lisbon. She's a PCC and a member of the team that reviewed and updated the code for 2025. Angela, thank you so much for being here with us.
It's my pleasure. And I'm excited to explore session 2 with you today as it embodies the evolving nature of ethics in our field, ensuring we stay aligned with the values that define coaching excellence.
Great. Well, let's hop right in then with section 2.1, which is about maintaining confidentiality regardless of the role that you're serving in. What do coaches need to know about this?
Well, in practice, maintaining the strictest level of confidentiality means that as coaches, we treat all information shared with us during coaching engagements with the utmost discretion, regardless of the role we are fulfilling, be it as a coach, as an educator, a mentor, a supervisor, or any other profession.
And I guess that includes if you're the videographer of this series, so I'm maintaining my ethical obligations according to this code to everyone that's participating. But let's go on to section 2.2, which is about clarity of what information is being shared and whatnot.
Yeah, this standard means that before starting a coaching engagement, it's essential to establish clear agreements with all parties, clients, sponsors, and any other stakeholders about what information can be shared, with whom, and through what channels. In real life, this principle avoids misunderstandings and protects trust, which is very important, trust. So by having clear agreements up front, all parties know exactly how information will flow, reducing, of course, the risk of breaches and ensuring alignment with ethical standards.
Great. So section 2.3 kind of talks about when some of those agreements will be breached in terms of the authorities, or there's a reason that they need to be breached. So tell us a little bit about what coaches need to know here.
This is critical for maintaining transparency and trust while complying with legal and ethical responsibilities. For example, during the initial coaching agreement, the coach should clearly state that confidentiality will be maintained unless certain exceptions arise, such as illegal activity, court orders or subpoena, risk of harm. For example, if the client or another individual is at imminent or likely risk of danger, the coach must take action to protect all the parties involved.
Yeah, that's great. And it's great to make sure that that is understood up front, that the coaching relationship is maybe a little different than a therapist relationship or whatnot. So make sure folks are understanding that. And let's go to section 2.4, which is about record keeping. What do coaches need to know?
Okay, how to maintain them, how to store them, and how to dispose them by the end of their life cycle. So keeping coaching notes, agreements, and related documents in secure locations. For paper records, use locked secure safe cabinets, for example. For digital files, use passwords with all those protected systems, encrypted storage, or secure cloud services. This is very important, and it's something that we definitely have to have in mind. Storing records, follow data protection and the laws applicable to our region, is such as in Europe, for example, the GDPR, or the HIPAA PAA in the US, which may dictate how long records can be retained and all the measures needed to protect them. And in the end, how to dispose of records when records are no longer needed. It's also important that we dispose them in a secure and safe way.
Yeah, and that's actually something, well, as I was looking through the standard, I kind of thought back to myself, have I disconnected from all my previous clients properly? Because it's tempting to just keep records when they are no longer needed. So it is definitely a best practice to purge those records, because if something were to happen, if there were a data breach, you don't want clients from 5 years ago being affected because you didn't dispose of their records properly. So the next standard up is going to be about technology specifically. What do coaches need to know here?
Okay, so this standards emphasizes that as coaches, we are responsible for ensuring that our ethical and legal commitments extend not only to our direct interactions, but also to the technology that we use to facilitate coaching. So this ensures that the integrity and the security and ethical compliance of all tools and platforms involved in our practice. How does this translate into practice? Well, choosing ethical and compliant technology, maintaining transparency with clients. It's very important to clearly explain to clients how technology will be used during the coaching process. And safeguarding data, as we just mentioned, ensure all technology-assisted systems are protected against breaches. And also addressing ethical and legal scenarios with the growing reliance on technology. It's critical to ensure our tools align with the same ethical and legal standards we apply to face-to-face coaching. So by taking these precautions, we safeguard the trust of our clients and uphold the reputation of the coaching profession.
So not only do we rely on our technology, but we also rely on support personnel. What do coaches need to know about Standard 2.6?
Yeah, so this standard highlights that the coach's accountability for ensuring that any support personnel we engage, such as assistants, administrative staff, or third-party contractors, they operate in full alignment with the ICF Code of Ethics. So our support personnel are an extension of our professional identity.
Great. Well, 2.7 talks about the privacy of ICF professionals specifically. So what do coaches and the entire ICF family of people that fall under the ICF Code of Ethics, what do we need to know here?
Well, we need to know that as coaches, we respect the privacy of fellow ICF professionals and use their contact information responsibly and only as authorized. So it's about respecting boundaries, obtaining consent, and this standard protects the privacy and the autonomy of ICF professionals, fostering a culture of respect and trust within the coaching community. By handling contact information responsibly, we definitely uphold the value of professionalism that defines the ICF.
Well, the last standard here, 2.8, talks about intellectual property and the contributions of others and recognizing that. So what do we need to know for this standard?
Well, this standard underscores the importance of respecting intellectual property rights and ensuring ethical use of the work of others in our coaching practice. So acknowledging sources, avoiding unauthorized use, using licensed materials, and only take credit for materials, ideas, or concepts and content that we have created ourselves. So it's about honoring intellectual property and foster a culture of respect and trust within the coaching profession, and protecting the value of creative contribution that ensures the integrity of our work.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Angela, for your service to the ICF and for making this video to help folks learn the Code of Ethics, the new 2025 Code of Ethics. And I have Jalin up here now if you want to see the next section, section 3. And down here, you can work your way backwards if you haven't seen the previous sections. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.